The 6060 Ultimate Module Collection by MicDSP is an expansive, zero-latency, module-based plugin that offers over 30 unique modules, including 12 equalizer modules, 10 compression modules, and many other processing options, including saturation, specialized filtering, tape machine emulations, transformer circuit modeling, bass-optimized biasing, de-essing, and plenty more. The 6060 makes parallel processing a breeze with its split mode, which splits modules into two separate signal paths for flexible and complex parallel processing. Each of the 6060's 6 module bays can be arranged in any order, swapped on the fly, and individually bypassed and engaged. Sidechain processing options for many of the modules and input and output level control and monitoring are also available. Let's check out these features in more detail and hear the 6060 in action. The controls on the MicDSP 6060 Ultimate Module Collection are divided into 5 sections: the Module Selector section, the Input section, 6 swappable module bays, and the Output section. Let's take a closer look at each of these, starting with the Module Selector section. The 6060 offers 3 module groups: EQ, Compression, and more. As each group button is pressed, the list of available modules below it is updated. For EQs and compressors, the list is in order from least aggressive processing at the top to most aggressive processing at the bottom. While each module has a unique tone or function, EQ and compression modules retain a common set of controls, so different EQ and compression modules can be auditioned on the fly during playback while relative settings are unchanged. Clicking any one of these module buttons will immediately update the module being used. To control which module is updated, there are 6 yellow module target buttons across the top of the module selector panel numbered 1 through 6, indicating which module will update when selecting one of the module buttons. The numbers on each module's enable button corresponds to each module target, and as module controls are updated, the module target buttons track the most recently adjusted module. Now let's focus on the biggest section of the plugin, the module bays. This is where you'll control selected modules, move modules from one position to another, and enable split mode and sidechaining options. Module selection can also be done in this section. Module processing starts on the left-hand side of the user interface at the input section, and then progresses left to right until reaching the output section. To move a module from one location to another, simply click and drag it where you want it. Nearby modules will be shifted around accordingly. If you want to add a module to a module bay without using the target buttons on the left side of the UI, just click the upper right-hand corner of any module bay. A pop-up menu will appear showing all the available modules. If you wish to remove the selected module, you may click the No Module button. Now onto split mode, which allows for any combination of the 6060 modules to be split into 2 separate signal paths and mixed at independent levels. The split input mode can be enabled and disabled from the green I button located in the lower left corner of each module. When enabled, modules to the left are assigned to signal path A, and the selected module along with the modules to its right are assigned to signal path B. A new split mode point can also be selected by pressing one of the A or B buttons on another module. To control each split mode signal path's volume, use the 2 knobs that appear just above the output meters with a range of -infinity to +12 dB and a default value of 0 dB. You can also audition either split mode signal path by pressing the A or B label underneath the knobs to mute or unmute each signal path. The last feature we'll discuss in this section is sidechaining. Some 6060 modules can select a sidechain signal as the key signal to trigger a compressor or other module functionality by using the key and speaker buttons on their lower right corner. The first button, with a key symbol, will enable sidechain input, while the second button, with the speaker symbol, will allow you to audition the sidechain input. Please note that you must use your DAW's UI to select a valid sidechain input for the 6060 plugin. Otherwise, the sidechain input signal will be silent and the module in question won't do anything. Now that we're familiar with all the features of the 6060 Ultimate Module Collection, let's listen to a few of the many applications this plugin offers. For our first example, let's use the 6060's split mode on this vocal. Here's how it sounds before and after processing.
I built this bridge so I could burn it down and never look back. I've jumped off the edge, but I never touched the ground. I built this bridge so I could burn it down and never look back. I've jumped off the edge, but I never touched the ground.
For this example, we have the MEF1 filtering module and S671 saturation module on signal path A to create a lo-fi effect. Let's solo signal path A to hear what these modules sound like on their own.
I built this bridge so I could burn it down and never look back. I've jumped off the edge, but I never touched the ground.
Routed in parallel on signal path B are 4 modules: Shine for more top end, the E404 for boosts in the highs, mids, and lows at 8 kHz, 1.4 kHz, and 266 Hz, the Opto L3 for some controlled movement, and tape for some subtle tape saturation. Let's turn all the modules on signal path B off, and then engage each module one at a time.
I built this bridge so I could burn it down and never look back. I've jumped off the edge, but I never touched the ground. I built this bridge so I could burn it down and never look back. I've jumped off the edge, but I never touched the ground. I built this bridge so I could burn it down and never look back. I've jumped off the edge, but I never touched the ground. I built this bridge so I could burn it down and never look back. I've jumped off the edge, but I never touched the ground.
Next up is a master bus example, where we're using the 60/60 to bring the vocals forward, bring the drums back so they aren't messing with the vocals, and strengthen the low end. Let's hear it.
It's not impersonal, but we do have an issue. Need myself an arsenal, but I don't see that with you. Of course, I'm past the breaking stress, reinforce. One setup for less, no, I don't need the Trojan horse. I won't break bread with the weasel, I'm not the same person that's medieval. Bet you thought I forgot all the extortion that felt like contortion and pills. We're only coming next, had me distort for appeal. At what cost? Yeah,
The first module in this chain is the IQ EQ module, which is boosting at 1.7 kHz and 75 Hz, followed by the E670 EQ module, which is boosting some high mids at 1.4 kHz, cutting highs at 8 kHz, and cutting lows down at 40 Hz. After that, we have the IC2 compressor for some glue and general level control. Bob is there for some low-end reinforcement around 45 Hz, and tape is also there for some tape saturation once again. Let's engage each of these modules one at a time. I'll also swap some modules out and show off how easy it is to A/B the sounds of different EQs and compressors, since the settings maintain their relative positions across modules.
Need myself an arsenal, but I don't see that with you. Of course, I'm past the breaking stress, reinforce. One setup for less, no, I don't need the Trojan horse. I won't break bread with the weasel, I'm not the same person that's medieval. Bet you thought I forgot all the extortion that felt like contortion and pills. We're only coming next, had me distort for appeal. At what cost? Yeah, they gotta make the paper off. We ain't talking mills, all that labor don't matter. Big boys talk when it's called the curator. Then that mental block, all these thoughts scatter. It's not impersonal, but we do have an issue. Need myself an arsenal, but I don't see that with you. Of course, I'm past the breaking stress, reinforce. One setup for less, no, I don't need the Trojan horse. I won't break bread with the weasel, I'm not the same person that's medieval. Bet you thought I forgot all the extortion that felt like contortion and pills. We're only coming next, had me distort for appeal. At what cost? Yeah, they gotta make the paper off. We ain't talking mills, all that labor don't matter. Big boys talk when it's called the curator. Then that mental block, all these thoughts scatter. It's not impersonal, but we do have an issue. Need myself an arsenal, but I don't see that with you. Of course, I'm past the breaking stress, reinforce. One setup for less, no, I don't need the Trojan horse. I won't break bread with the weasel, I'm not the same person that's medieval. Bet you thought I forgot all the extortion that felt like contortion and pills. We're only coming next, had me distort for appeal. At what cost? Yeah, they gotta make the paper off. We ain't talking mills, all that labor don't matter. one is called the curator. Then that mental block, all these thoughts scatter.
Last up is another split mode example, but this time with some negative compression on drums. Let's hear what they sound like. This time around, we have 4 modules on signal path A. Bob for low-end reinforcement around 60.5 Hz, Shine for some air, Easy Q for some more highs at 10 kHz, less mids around 800 Hz, and more lows at 90 Hz, and a high-pass filter at 50 Hz, and Easy C for some more attack and level control. On signal path B, we have the S671 module for some aggressive saturation, and the D359 module for some extreme compression. The D359 is one of the 6060's modules that features a negative compression option, something that's quite rare in both hardware and software compressors alike. It's helping us achieve a very pumpy compression sound here, which sounds far too drastic in solo, but just right in the mix. Let's hear each signal path on its own. Interested in learning more? Try out the 6060 Ultimate Module Collection free 14-day trial at the link in the description. It can be purchased on its own, and it's also included in the All Access subscription, as well as the Everything Pack plugin bundle. We've linked all of these options in the description as well. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more McDSP tips and content. Also, feel free to use the links in the description to follow us on other social media platforms. We will see you next time.